Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to the class. How are you all? Welcome to your own channel of 9th and 10th. Welcome everyone to the new academic year. Lots of welcome. Good evening everyone. Good evening Anjali. Good evening Shivansh, Rashmi, all in one. Ratneshwar, Vasi, Archit, Rashmi, Supriya, Gungun, Suhani, Suresh. Hi Kriti, Kritika. Hi Mandal. Hi Mona Lisa, Manjot, Anjali, Prashansa, Palak, Suresh, Anshita, Manjot, Supreet, Lakshmi, Pooja, Shreyansh. Good evening everyone. Vajresh, Isha, Aisha, Shifa. Excited for the first session? Me too. Yes everyone. Good evening Ayush, Shrishti, Shubham, Sindhu, Mamta. I'm good everyone. How are you all? Are you excited for the new session, right? This is the first session in our new academic year. Yes, so it's an amazing time for us to start. Yes. Hi Mani. Hi Anushka. Hi Kate. Awesome. So I'm sure all of you are excited, right? And it's the first session, right? So we'll be talking about something really very easy. We'll not be starting very quickly with all of the amazing things we have in this particular chapter. Yes? So before we start our, I would say the next academic year, right? For you it's the first year, right? First year, of course, not the first year. Like, of course, you have been studying for a long time, but 9th class is a very important class in the school time. So yes, a lot of things will change, right? Teachers will be telling you, oh, this you have to become really very serious. Oh, this is a very important class, and all those good things. So be sure that you are paying attention. Yes. Awesome. Good evening, those of you who have joining us now. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Himani. Hi, Kate. Hello. Hi, Manish. Very good. So, if we talk about this particular chapter, of course, as the name of the chapter says, the fundamental unit of life. Now, I can actually just say it's a very easy chapter. Now, you tell me what you like about this chapter. Or do you have any idea about this chapter? Yes? Quickly tell me. The fundamental unit of life. What we will be learning in this particular chapter? Yes, quickly, please. The chat should be completely flooded, right? Quickly write your answers in the chat. Very good, very good. Yes, we'll be discussing about cell. Someone said cell and its structure, cell organelles. Absolutely correct, cell division. Very good. Awesome. So we have an idea that what we'll be learning, right? And of course, if you know that, we can just quickly go through it. But when we'll be learning this together this time, we will be having a lot of activities that will be helping us to understand this chapter, and we'll be remembering all of the amazing information that we have in this particular chapter. So this time when we're learning, of course, you have studied this particular chapter, 8th standard. Yes? This time it will be amazing. On that note, everyone, are we ready to start our class? Yes, quickly give me a thumbs up or a smiley. Let's have a smiley chain in the chat box. Yes, Aman, hi. Hi, Lakshmi, yes. I can see thumbs up and smileys. Very good, everyone. So before we start this session, let's quickly see that what we'll be learning in today's class. So now, moving from ahead, right? In every classes, we will be having a discussion of what are the topics that we will be learning in that particular class, so that all of us can track our progress. So, in this class, we'll be discussing about what is a cell, right? Then, of course, we will be discussing about the discovery of the cell. This is really important and super easy. Then, we'll be discussing about the different types of cells and about the structural organization of the cell. Very easy thing, right? Now, if I ask you to define a cell, right? Or if I ask you that when we talk about the cell, right? Or if we take an example of a house, right? Let's look at over here. So if we have a house, of course, we know that we will be building our house with the help of bricks, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Of course, we have the answer, right? Very good. I can see. Yes, absolutely correct. If you talk about the house, right, to make our houses, the basic thing we need is the brick, right? That will be actually helping us to form the structure. What about the plants? Can you tell me, in plants, if we talk about it, what they will be having? Very good. I can see your answers already. That's really very good. Very good, everyone. Awesome, right? Cell, I can see. So we are on a right track, right? So if we talk about the plants, of course, there will be the plants cell that will be helping in the basic build-up of a plant, right? And what about us? Do we have cells? Tell me, do we have cells? Mona Lisa will be having the quiz, right, once we'll be completing this particular topic. So we will be discussing about the NCERT and the NCERT exemplar question, so wait for it. Yes, everyone, absolutely correct. In us also we have cells, right? Oh, we have so many cells. So we can say that over here, the cell is a basic unit. Now, can I ask you a very, very interesting question? We say that cell is, of course, is a basic structural and functional unit. What do you think is the meaning of this? We will spend some time over here because I would say this is a very important part of our class. And while you are writing the answers, let's quickly play with these cups and let's understand a very important thing. So, can you see these cups, right? Just tell me, can you see these cups over here? I've written numbers also so that I remember. Yes? So, if you can see these 4 cups over here, right? What I'm trying to do over here. Okay. Now, if we talk about this particular structure, right? What do you think? Without this particular cup over here, do you think that the structure is stable? Yes? Blocking the cup. Teamwork. We can say that our cells work in a team. So yeah, that could be an answer. Yes? Very good, very good. Yes, if we don't have any of these, of course, our structure will not be stable as we want to. Now, when we talk about the cell, of course, if we consider these are the cell, so they are doing 2 important things, like we call it as a structural and a functional unit. Now, why structural? Because it is helping us to build a structure, right? Yes or no, everyone? Please quickly write in the chat box. Yes? Very good. Please write in the chat box, right? Awesome. Very good, everyone. I would encourage you to participate in the class. You can write in the chat box, right? When we talk about the structure, of course, these are playing a very important role in providing the structure. And of course, apart from that, they are performing a very important function of giving the support to the whole structure. Yes? So we have this amazing thing, right? So if we consider these cups as the structural and the functional unit, we can say that in our body we have trillions of cells, right? Each of the cell is being combined together and each of the cell is performing various metabolic activities. Inside the cells, there are a lot of reaction happening. Yes? So, in that way, especially in bio, we can say cell is considered as the smallest unit and it's a fundamental unit. Yes, of course, we have atoms, molecules, but they are a part of chemistry. When we talk in terms of the bio, we will usually focus more on the cells. So everyone, are we clear with this particular question? Because it's a very important question which is usually asked. It's a very tricky question altogether. Yes? Now, I have a very interesting question over here. Ma'am, why not atoms? So I'm sure we all are aware that we have different elements, right, in our periodic table, and each of it have a very important role. Now atoms are really very tiny structure. They will be coming up together, they will be forming the cell. So that's a very important question that of course you have asked. So there's a difference between, see, atom is really very tiny, of course, smaller than the cells itself. Now if you talk about cell, it has a lot of chemicals into it, right? And how all of these chemicals are getting prepared? Of course, we have these atoms and molecules which are involved into the whole process. So are we clear, everyone? Now it's the first class of your 9th. We're talking about the first chapter that we have in 9th class. That is fundamental unit of life. And the first basic thing we're talking about is cell, which is connected to, of course, us, to our life. And eventually, if you look at it, we have the chemistry also in it. We have the physics also. So there's very important one thing we need to understand, that in science, a lot of topics are interconnected. And once you are learning, I want you to apply all the knowledge that you are gaining from physics, from chemistry, from bio together, and then try to solve the problems that you will be facing in the science, right? Are we clear, Sai? Yes, Sai, it is. Yes, Himani. Now you will be like, is it? You can do a research and you will be amazed to see that. Are we clear, everyone? Are we clear? A very interesting question is asked by Soumya Shri. Why do we call cell as a fundamental unit of life? Because what is a life, right? Now, if I talk about, let's suppose this pen over here, right? Can this pen talk to you? If I'm not there, just assume that if I'm not there on the screen, can this pen talk to you? Can this pen teach you about the cell? Yes or no? Tell me. Do you think that the pen will be able to teach you about the functions of cell, etc., etc.? Can you interact with this pen? No, right? It's a non-living thing. It have no life, but still it's made up of the atoms. Right? Of course, plastic is there. Of course, there are other components over there. But when we talk in terms of the life, right, we have the cells which are capable of performing various chemical reactions. And as these chemical reactions are being performed in the body, we call ourselves as living. Right? Yes, absolutely correct, Himani. It's not just the atoms, right? Of course, if you talk about biomolecules, how the biomolecules are formed. So the fundamental thing, the basic thing is really very simple, right? If you talk about any of the living organism, we say that they are made up of cells. And if you talk about any chemicals, of course, they are made up of atoms. Simple, right? So everyone, give me a thumbs up if you are clear with this. Quickly, a thumbs up. Yes? Very quickly, give me a thumbs up, everyone. Awesome. And a smiley also, if you want to give a smiley. Now that we are clear that what cell is and why we call it as a structural and the functional unit, let's try to understand its history. Now, of course, we have a lot of stories about the history of the cell. Let's try to explore it. Now, of course, we can see the cells like this easily in your schools also. You can easily see the cells with the compound microscope, right? Of course, it's really very easy for us to see. Now, the important thing is really very important thing for us to understand is that we cannot see the cells with our naked eyes, right? Can you see? Okay. Can I see my skin cells like this? What do you think? Can you see? Yes, no, right? Very good. It's really very small, we'll not be able to see. Awesome, very good. Keep the interaction happening, everyone. Do write in the chat box. And don't spam, right? Welcome to the new students who are joining our class for the very first time. Welcome to the class. You can subscribe to this channel, which is 9th and 10th channel, right? And you will be able to find amazing videos that will be helping you to learn better. Awesome. So, microscope is a device that will actually help us to study the cells. Of course, the one that we have over here is a compound microscope. I'm sure many of you have seen this in all of you actually, I'm sure must have seen this in your schools. Compound microscope, right? Very good, yes. I'm sure in the labs we have this. So that's a device that we'll be using to see the microscope. Now let's talk about the history. Now as we all know, as you're writing the answer in the chat box, I don't have to spend much time over here. We know that Robert Hooke actually discovered the cell. Can you tell me in which year he discovered the cell? Right? Can I give you a hint? Yes? Quickly tell me everyone, in which year Robert Hooke actually discovered the cell? 16, 65 or 62 or 64? Very good. In 1665, right, Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Now he was looking at the, can you tell me, I will be asking you guys the question because I know that all of you are thoroughly prepared. That's really very good. When you come into the class, I would request all of you to come a little bit prepared so that if you have any doubts, you can ask in the class itself. So, we know that from the topic, right, that what topic we'll be learning in today's class. So when you come into the class, always read 2-3 pages, not the chapters, but the pages of your textbook. Very good, Sai, very good. Very good, Khushi. Very good, Vartika. Very good, yes. So, Robert Hooke actually saw the dead cells, right? And that too of the cork of the bark of tree. Very good. And he actually saw something similar to this. Not exactly, but very much similar to this, right? Of course, we have added the color. So, of course, this is very close to the thing that he actually observed, right? From the bark of the tree. So, I'm sure you must have seen the trees, right? There's a brown color, which is the dead cells, dead tissues that we have. So, he actually took that and of course, from there he saw it. Yes, and those were the dead cells. This is really very important. Robert Hooke saw the dead cells and they were looking like a prison. Small rooms where they'll be keeping the prisoners. That's why he named these small structures, small compartments, right, as the cells. Are we clear with this, everyone? Very good, Vartika. No, Vineet, we cannot say that. Yes, very good, very good. So are we clear with Robert Hooke, right? So we have it. Observed in the cork cells and coined the term cell. Very good. So it's a very important information, usually asked for 1 marks. Who discovered the cell, right? And in which year? Very good, very good. Now let's move to another important scientist as you're mentioning. And Robert Hooke actually discovered the cell, right? But the cell that he observed was dead cell. And we have a scientist who actually observed the living cell, and it's the Anthony. We usually say that. It's a Leeuwenhoek. So over here, can you see this microscope? Yeah, and he used it, and he's the one who actually saw the living cell, and he's also called the father of microbiology. Yes, so you can note down all of these important information, everyone. Very good. The chat got struck. Can we just have it? Yes, very good, everyone. Very good. Yes, he is the one who discovered the simple, right? Over here, the microscopes. Now, he actually saw the living cells. Very good, very good. Very typical name, yes. Very good, Khushi. Very good. Animal cubes. Absolutely very good, Sai. Awesome. Now that we are clear with this. Very good, everyone. Yes, Ankita. Yes, Shreyansh. And now it's a very easy answer, Shreyansh. Which is smaller? Think about it. Think about in terms of, can you see an atom with the help of microscope? Think about it. You will find the answer. Awesome. Very good, everyone. Now there's a very interesting question asked by the Prakriti. What is microbiology? Can anyone help her? Very easy, right? It has two words, microbiology. In our 8th standard, we have a chapter which is microorganism, right? Yes, in microorganisms, we talk about the 5 important types of microorganisms we have, the different variety, bacteria, fungi, virus, protozoa, and have I forgot anything? You can write it in the chat box. Yes, the study of the microorganism, to study how these microorganisms function. Absolutely correct. Very good, everyone. Right? So that's about this. Right? Now let's move from here to a very important thing that actually happened during the discovery and during the scientists learning more and more about the cell. Can anyone guess what we will be discussing about next? Ankita and XYZ, can you write the question? Yes. Are we clear, everyone? Very good, Shivansh. The next thing about these two important things in the history of cell, we'll be discussing about the cell theory. When we talk about the cell theory, right, we have these 3 names. A very important, right, we have Sheldon, we have Sean, and we have Rudolph. Over here, let me just move over here. He's an amazing scientist over here. Now, these are the one actually who gave us the cell theory. So first important thing for all of us to do is to remember the name of these scientists. You can always remember the spellings, right? This is important. You can always remember the surname of these scientists. Very good. I was about to ask that question, Kushi, that tell me which of these scientists actually said what, stated what, but I can see you guys are writing already. So let's quickly understand about the cell theory. When we talk about the cell theory, the first postulate talks about that all the living organisms that are there around us are composed of cells. Very easy, right? All the living organisms are composed of cells. Very good, Sai. Very good, Vishnu. Vineet. That's an interesting question. Yes, Himani. Yes, Umar. Yes, Archita. Cells. Very good. Yes, Isha. Aisha, Priya, Prince. Very good. Awesome. Now let's talk about, that's the first postulate we have, that all living organisms are composed of cells. And the second postulate talks about that cells are the structural and the functional unit of life. There's a very interesting question asked by Umar that atoms are the smallest, but still we call cell as a structural and the functional unit of life. Now tell me, can an atom can perform any function? Yes, Umar, can you tell me? Do you think that an atom, a single atom, can perform, let's say, breathing? Yes or no? It's a very easy answer, right? Yes or no? It cannot, right? But whereas a cell, which of course has so many atoms, so many molecules coming together, it's a living thing. It can make its own food. It can actually move also. It can perform various functions. That's why we call cell as the structural and the functional unit of life. The important word for all of us to focus here is life. Living things, right? I hope everyone is clear now. Very good. Yes? Awesome. So till now, if we're coming back on the cell theory, we have 2 postulates. First, that all living organisms are made up of cells, and cells are the basic structural and the functional unit of life. Now let's talk about the third postulate, which is already written by the Srishti, that all cells will be arising from the pre-existing cells. That means that a cell has an ability or the capability to reproduce, right? So from this cell, we have these 2 cells. So these are the 3 postulates of the cell theory. Everyone, are we clear with it? Quickly give me a thumbs up. Very quickly give me a thumbs up. Very quickly. Yes, yes, yes. A smiley for all of us. After a long time, I'm making a smiley. Are we clear with it? Yes. Very, very good, everyone. Awesome. See, it's a very easy chapter. So what we can do from our side is to have a clear understanding about what we are learning and how we can make sure that this topic is really very interesting for all of us. Absolutely correct. Tanuja, Archit. Okay, Tarak is asking a very interesting question, that how structural and functional unit of cell. You have to just, can you write the full question? Awesome. XYZ, we have a video for the Mendel's law. That's in class 10th. You can definitely watch the videos for it. Very good. Now that we are done with this particular topic, can I ask you a very interesting question? Yes? A very, very easy question we have over here. Let's see the answer. Over here, everyone. The term cell was given by 1, 2, 3. Is it A, B, C and D? It's a very easy question, right? Very good. The term cell was given by Robert Hooke. It's the easiest question that can be asked in the examination. Very good, everyone. So we have this correct answer, which is option number B, that is Robert Hooke. Now that we have discussed about this, we'll be moving to the next important topic, which is super easy. Let's talk about it. Now over here, if you can see, we have the cells, right? Now, of course, you and me have different, if we have same organs, I would say. Do you have stomach? Tell me, do you have stomach? I have stomach. My stomach is there with me. Yes, what about you? You have stomach? Yes, 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 yes. Right? All of us have stomach. And the cells in our stomach will be same or different. Just filled with it. Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Right? So if you look over here, we have an onion. And the question is over here, or the statement I would say that, a size cell remain constant for species in respect to the size of an organism. What do you think? Okay. Very good, very good. I can see your answers. Now, if we talk about the stomach, right? Now, I'm sure you haven't heard that my stomach is growing every day. Yes? Of course, it's a really very known fact. The stomach will not be growing every day. After each meal, it's not that, oh, we can measure. You know, our stomach has grown from 10 centimeter to 15 centimeter. Of course, that's not possible. It's really very funny, so that we are doing it so that you will remember it. So there's one thing which we have to remember is that cells have different sizes, and based upon their size and shape, they have different functions. So we'll be discussing about a very important topic. There are different types of cells we have. Over here we are talking about the cells that we have in human body. Now let's start with it, right? Over here we have few, and over here we have one more. Now if you talk about this over here, can you tell me what is it? Yes? Please tell me, what is it? What is this which is there? It looks like an organism, right? Amoeba. Very good. Very good, absolutely. That's amoeba, right? I'm sure we all are aware that amoeba is a unicellular organism. And of course, when we talk about it, it has so many other things that it does. But important thing for us to remember is that it is very irregular, right? We can see that it will keep on changing its shape to get the food, right? It can easily engulf the food. It has pseudopodias. It will be taking it inside it, and the digestion process, assimilation process will occur. And of course, that's how it will be getting the energy. Yes, so over here, amoeba shape is very irregular. But this irregular shape actually helps them to form the pseudopodia that can actually take the food inside. Very good, Vishnu. Very good. Yes, right? And what is the function of this irregular shape? that actually help in the nutrition and the movement. Very good. Now can you tell me about this? What is it? Have you seen this type of cell anywhere? Right? Which cell do we have over here? Very good, Shrishti, Girisha, Asha, Vartika, Mandal, Zarina, Tanuja, Umar. Very good. Yes. So this is what? This is the nerve cell or the neuron. Right? Now, if you look at the shape and the structure of it, what do you think is the function of it? Let's think about it, right? We can see it has a long arm. Right? So what is the purpose of this nerve cell in our body? Very good. We can say that it is actually present in, it plays a very important role in the transmitting of the information. Very good. Right? Very good. Yes. We're talking about the shape and the size. Right? Very good, Anjali, Isha, Grisha, Grishma. Absolutely. So the nerve cell plays a very important role in conduction of the nerve impulse in a way that it actually helps in the transmission of the nerve impulse or the information from one nerve cell to another, and that's how we have the connections and that's how we get all the information. For example, I'm talking to you right now and you are looking at the screen. You can hear me, you can see the screen, and you can actually process all of it. We have so much of these happening in the body. This long arm, right, plays a very important role in carrying that impulse or carrying that particular information. Yes, so these different shapes and size of the cells plays a very important role in their function. So we should be very clear about that there's a relation between the structure and the function. Are we clear? Quickly everyone, are we clear with here? Hi Shifa, welcome. Yes, are we clear with this? There's a relation between the structure, the shape, the size, and with the function. Yes, awesome. So we have discussed about two. Now let's move to this. Now it's of course over here, it's a smooth muscle. Now can you tell me, we know that smooth muscles are involuntary in nature, or they plays a very important role in involuntary movements. Now what is involuntary movements? So this of course we all know. Yes? What is there are two types of movement, right? We have voluntary movements and involuntary movements. Archita will be taking up that question. Do you think that all the same species have the same size of cell? Interesting question. Very good. Umar, yes, we'll be discussing about the involuntary questions. Very good. Monica, Prem Kumar, Kajal, yes. Involuntary movements are those movements that of course we have no control of, right? You and I cannot control. Yes, very good. So we have two types of muscle cells, right? We have striated muscles, of course, which you and I can control. They are present in the biceps, right over here. And involuntary movements or involuntary muscles, of course, we have the smooth muscle cell as an example, are those which, of course, we have no control. So it is there in our intestine and different body parts. Now, you and I cannot control the movement that is happening inside our intestine. So when we talk about the structure of these muscles, if you can look over here, they're tightly packed, right? They can actually contract and relax. This plays a very important role in having a lot of functions in the body and different types of movements happening in the body. So that's why the structure of this plays a very important role, right? And now we can relate the structure and the function of it together. Yes, Anushka, what is the difference between voluntary and involuntary? So voluntary actions, you and I can control it, right? These muscles that you and I can control it are the striated muscles or the skeletal muscles. They are present in our biceps. I can move my hand like this. And involuntary movements are those which you and I cannot control. The movement of the stomach muscles, the movement that we have in our intestine, etc. Are we clear, everyone? Yes, Jenny. Yes. Everyone, quickly tell me, are we clear with this? Yes. Very good, very good, very good. I can see a lot of yes. Now that we are clear with this, let's move to the very interesting part. I'm sure you all are aware about it. That is the red blood cells, right? Red blood cells. Now, what are red blood cells? Of course, if you talk about the structure, the shape of them, they are biconcave. They are disc kind of a structure, right? And the important function of these is to that actually help in carrying the O2. They will be carrying the oxygen to the different parts of the body, right? Very good, very good. So the red blood cells plays a very important role in carrying the oxygen, right? And the shape plays a very important role. They're very small, so they can easily pass through the arteries. And of course in the veins also. Plate-like structures, yes. A disc-like structures. No, Prakriti, it's not. There's a difference between that. Yes. Very good. Very good, yes. Yes, Himak, there's no nucleus in the RBC. They have a special pigment called as the hemoglobin that actually help in carrying the oxygen. Very good, Umar. Yes. Okay. Moving to the next cell over here, we have the fat globules. Now, these are the ones that will be storing the fat. Now, over here in just few slides, we have different types of cells in the body. The shape is different, and based upon the shape, the function is also different. Right? So, this is really very important thing for all of us to remember. Are we clear with this, everyone? Different cells, the shape and the size of the cells will have a different functions altogether. Right? RBCs will not be able to store fats. Right? And nerve cells will not be able to give us the movement. Very good. Awesome. Now that we are clear with this part, right? Let me ask you a very quick question. The formation of pseudopodia helps amoeba in food intake or food storage. It's a poll question, right? So you can start voting now and you will be having the polls. So you can start voting now, right? You can write it over here. Very quickly tell me, the formation of the pseudopodia helps amoeba in food intake or food storage? I can see the answers. Pseudopodia, right? They will be coming like this and they'll be engulfing. Absolutely correct. It actually helps in the food intake of the amoeba. So here we have the answer. Very good. Now that we are clear with this, let's move to a very important thing, and I will be quickly, winding our session, I would say. Let's quickly discuss about the general structure, very general structure of the cell. Over here we have the animal cell. It has a nucleus, cell membrane and cytoplasm, right? Nucleus is also called as the brain of the cell that will have a lot of important information, and it will be helping the cells to perform various functions altogether. Cell membrane is an outer membrane which is act as a protective barrier, right? It will allow the entry of the molecules in and out. And cytoplasm, of course, the jelly fluid over there, will be able to see the various cell organelles into it. Very good. Arshita, they can easily function without the nucleus because nucleus. So what happens? In RBC, we have the hemoglobin. That will be just carrying the oxygen. They have no nucleus because nucleus will be occupying a lot of space, and that space, of course, is utilized by carrying more oxygen. Okay, are we clear, everyone? Just quickly give me a thumbs up. Quickly give me a thumbs up. One more question that we have for you guys. We will be discussing about the difference between the plant cells and the animal cells. We will be discussing in detail about the cells organelles also in our upcoming sessions. I can see a lot of thumbs up. Very good. So here we have a question. The longest cell in the human body is muscle cell, nerve cell, liver cell, or the fat cell? Quickly, it's a very easy question. The longest cell in the human body is, very good, I can see the options. It's the option number B, the nerve cell. Very good, everyone. So we had a very fruitful session, right? And with this, we can say we are done with today's topics. Let's quickly summarize it. And those of you who have doubts, Now it's a time for you to get it clarified. So we started with the cell. That cell is a structural basic and a functional unit of life. We talked about the discovery of the cell, right? Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Then, of course, he saw the dead cells. He didn't saw the living cells. Living cells was first observed by the Leeuwenhoek, right? And then we talked about the cell theory, that all living organisms are made up of cells. Cells are the structural and the functional unit of life, and all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. Right? That's important cell theory. You can mention the name of the scientist. You should remember the name of the scientist, everyone. Very, very important. Then we talked about the cell shape and the functions, right? Different cells have different shapes, right? And of course, based upon the shapes, they will be having separate function. There was a question that about the do different organisms, right? Like you and me, different species will have different cells. So the RBCs that you have and I have will be same, right? Will be very similar in terms of the structure unless I have I have anemia, which will definitely change the shape of the RBCs, right? The fat cells, the nerve cells will almost be a very similar structure. Very good. Very good. Now I can see a lot of you asking about the homework questions. Over here we have, you can mention about the cell theory, right? More importantly, write in your own words that why cells are the structural and functional unit. I can see still you are finding it difficult to frame it in your own words. So write the answer for this particular question in the comment section below after this video. So that will be the homework question, right? So you have two homework questions. First, of course, you can mention about the cell theory, the name of the scientist, and of course the postulates, and mention why cell is a structural and a functional unit of life. Important thing. We will be meeting again with the same chapter, but with the not same topic on 22nd of April. So do join our classes. Before we leave, of course, this is really very important for us to remember, right? And over here we have the upcoming session. Apart from that, we know that you've got it covered. Hit the like button for the video. You can share it with your friends and subscribe to your own channel, everyone. Yes, it's really important. Yes. We'll be discussing about prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells in the upcoming session. Size of a nucleus may vary in different cell. Prakriti, it's a very interesting question. Think about it. In the next class, I would love to answer that, where we will be discussing about the nucleus. Yes. And you know what? You can write in the comment section below the questions, so we can discuss them. Yes, I will be waiting for the next class, just like you. So with that, everyone, we are done. Before we leave, there's a link which is given in the description box below. You can go and try the free class there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us, right? Lots of love to each one of you. We will be meeting again in the next class. If you have any doubts, write in the comment section below. What are the topics that you want us to cover? You can write in the comment section below. There's a homework question. I would encourage you to write the answers for it, and your answer will be getting featured in our sessions. That's important. Thank you so much, everyone. Lots of love to each one of you. Here, hearts. That's hearts, right? And I'll be meeting you next week. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of you. Lots of love. Ta-ra.